got a brand on the wrist here. It's from Japan. It's a relatively new Japanese micro brand and quality is great. The dial is drop dead gorgeous. It's a compressor style case. It's called the Sombrero. And apart from two things that I don't like on this watch, everything else is pretty nice. It is also a little bit expensive in my opinion anyway, but let's flip the camera. Let's check out this first attempt at a dive watch from this brand all the way from Japan. Now for a first attempt at a dive watch, I think this is a really nice piece. That brass dial which has a linen pattern on it, salmon finish, first and foremost it's really striking. It grabs your attention straight off the bat. The watch is extremely comfortable, great dimensions at 38mm, and I did say in the intro there's two things that I don't like about this watch. Two main things, and everything else is pretty much on par, but as a first attempt as a dive watch, I think this brand has done a very decent job indeed. And hopefully from my macro footage and overall videography, you'll get a gauge of what I have in the hand and its level of execution and finishing. Now Kuoe has sponsored this video, so I will of course leave a link in the description section. If this watch interests you, by all means, feel free to check them out. And first and foremost, getting on Kuoe's website, this is their first attempt at a dive watch. And they do have different dial layouts. And for me personally, this Salmon really caught my eye. Now I like the fact that that dial is actually framed with a black internal bezel. It just draws your eye in and the detail is on a very high level. Now looking at the specifications of this watch, I measure a case diameter of 38mm and a case height of 12.7. That lug to lug is 45.6 and a lug width of 20. Both crowns are conical crowns, they are 6.7mm. The main winding crown is also signed and the watch offers 200 meters of water resistance, and the total weight on the supplied bracelet sized to my 18cm wrist, I measure exactly 147 grams. Now this is where all the joy begins because on the wrist this thing is really comfortable. I think the bracelet design and the size of those links is what really elevates this watch to an extremely enjoyable experience. The balance seems to be very good, and the overall footprint coming in at 38mm for a compressor style watch I think is just nice. Now although I've enjoyed the watch on the bracelet, it also comes with a German leather strap. And just a little detail, the spring bars are curved. So that's a nice little touch and nuance that you don't get in a lot of micro brands these days. And the comfort and look on that leather strap is also on point. So design wise, I think whether on bracelet or leather strap, they've done really well. Now looking closely at that bracelet, as you can see the articulation is exceptional. The link sizes are very small, so this bracelet does wrap around the wrist really well. It offers quick release end links, screw pins, a very nice swivel and on the fly adjustment clasp, and for me finding a comfort point on this bracelet has been extremely easy. Now turning the watch over, you can see there's a solid case back, and hiding behind that case back is a Japanese Miyota Movement 9039. Automatic hacking hand winding, around 41 hours of power reserve. This one here has been running very healthily. Now getting close and personal with that dial, you can see with the crowns, unscrewing that top crown, there's a nice pop and the bezel rotates freely and very smoothly, which is nice. You can set it up anywhere you want. As soon as you depress the crown and wind clockwise, it locks it in place, allowing the watch to continue to have 200 meters of water resistance. And the view through that sapphire crystal has also been very good. You've got what looks like a box dome sapphire crystal with sufficient anti-reflective coating as well as anti-fingerprint coating. And for me, whether that's a gimmick or not, I haven't really been able to fingerprint it, so this one might be okay. The view has actually remained quite clean and clear, which is a good thing. Now turning my attention to the lume of this watch. The watch features Swiss Superluminova on the hands, applied markers and Arabics, as well as the internal bezel, and the lume in this watch has been very good. For an old radium style lume coloured, which I'm not usually a big fan of, I think this is doing a great job, and the fact that it's coloured and it's not a white lume, I also think it suits that dial. And lastly, before I get onto any gripes or room for improvement, the watch comes in at 1,600 Australian dollars. Now I did say that that is a little bit pricey. That comes in at around 1,000 US dollars, and yeah, it's a bit of a push. For me, that's a bit of a stretch. The watch is nice, the detail in that linen is wonderful, but that price is probably a little bit north of where I'd like it to be. But on that note, guys, what are my gripes and room for improvement of this watch? And first and foremost, if you look closely down at the 6 o'clock marker, it says Japan made. And I'm not a big fan of that. I really would have preferred if it said made in Japan rather than Japan made. Now, in the watch's defense, luckily it's in black font, it's small enough, you really can't see it unless you get up close and personal. My macro footage did pick it up, but in daily use you will never see it, so that's probably a good thing. Now, another thing I did not like about this watch is the side profile, the brushing, the finishing on that side. I just feel it's not as refined as the rest of the watch. It looks a little bit raw, and that came as a little bit of a surprise to me. Because the rest of the watch's finishing, the bracelet, the polished sections, the polished bezel, everything seems to be on point. That just seems to be a little bit out of place to me. Now, on a visual perspective, for some reason, because of its slab-sided case, the watch does look a little bit bigger, a little bit taller on the wrist than what it really is. With that boxed crystal, it's only 12.7, but it does look taller. So keep that in mind. For a 38mm, the footprint is very good, but it might wear a little bit proud on certain wrists. So just putting it out there. And lastly, I did mention in my Laca review recently that I'm not a fan of conical crowns. This features 2 of them, and luckily they work well. And that's pretty much it regarding gripes, because generally the watch is very, very good. It's a little bit pricey in my eyes. I do like the dial. In fact, I love that dial. And just going out to Kuoe, guys, if you guys are listening, if you're watching this review, use that dial in some of your other watches. In some of your more dressy style watches, I'd love to see this in a more classically styled watch as well, a more classically styled 38mm, because I think the hero of this watch definitely is that dial, its finishing, its applied Arabics. Just the general layout is really nice. It's good to look at. So if you can incorporate this same dial in other watches, I think you're on a winner here. So hit me up in the comments, guys. Let me know what you think of this particular watch. It's this Japanese microbrand's first attempt at a dive watch. I think for a compressor style design, they've done very well. It's a good size, it's a good weight. And apart from a couple of the small niggles which I did speak about in this review, that dial is an absolute killer. So thanks for watching, guys. Be well, be safe. Enjoy the rest of your day or evening, whichever part of the world you're in, and we'll see you in the next one.